Okay, so I'm Gray Kochhar-Lindgren, the director of the Common Core at the University of Hong Kong. I'd like to welcome Professor Matthew Sparke from the University of Washington. He's a professor of international relations and geography, and he's here serving as our external examiner. So Matt, thank you for being with us this morning. I'd like to ask you just a few basic questions. First, from your experience, what do you see the advantages of a kind of interdisciplinary and very actively oriented style of learning for the students, both in terms of their own personal development, in terms of their university experience, and in terms of later moving into the workforce?
Well, thanks for having me, first of all. I think there's a ton of advantages of taking this interdisciplinary approach, especially the way you've done it here at the university with the Common Core program, which I really think is a remarkable achievement. There are at least three sort of layers of benefits from my perspective on cultivating this and nurturing this kind of interdisciplinary education here. So the most obvious one, to my mind, is that having students be able to take courses from multiple disciplines in connection with each other as majors in those different disciplines, it enables them to develop different windows onto the world and different perspectives, different disciplinary perspectives, and they're learning from each other as well as from the different courses in that process. So multiple windows is one thing. Now, layered on top of that, to my mind, a second interdisciplinary benefit is the cultivation of what some educators call meta-learning skills, which is this ability to learn about learning. So this obviously has a personal side to it for individual students in that they can become more reflective learners, learning from those different disciplines, learning about different learning styles from one another, and hopefully through that process becoming more intentional students about planning their pathway through the university. Now, some educators go on and on about intentional meta-learning, and I think that's useful for bringing into the foreground this need for planning and deliberation and reflection, but it misses something in that there's a lot of unintentional things that happen in the university that are very beneficial for student learning. And so that takes me to this sort of third layer of interdisciplinary benefits. Now these could be called like meta-learning too, or perhaps general learning in the spirit of general education. Mm-hmm. But it's, from my perspective, the opportunity to learn about different epistemologies, different modes of explanation, different intellectual traditions, and through that process, not just being able to be more conscious as a learner, as an individual, but learning about the social formations in which education and knowledge making happens. And so that's real sort of meta learning, and it's a sort of a social and intellectual learning. And I think that is something that the Common Core facilitates, especially insofar as those big lecture courses are accompanied by opportunities for student discussion in the tutorials.